again, everyone. I'm Paul, the Nitro Scholars. Welcome to this edition of the Nitro Corner, our 50th episode. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to all 50 episodes of the Nitro Corner and hope to continue to do plenty more after this. Excuse me. Today is Sunday as part of our double header. Don't forget, later on today, I'll have my weekend report, part 3, the draft preview. But first, it's time for the 5 classic videos as part of our classic match of the day. Not 1, not 2, but 5 classic matches from the annals of wrestling history. We'll start off with a match that took place on November 14th, 1973 in Hamburg, Pennsylvania at the Field House on television. It was a TV taping. The tag team titles are on the line as the champions, Mr. Fuji and Professor Toru Tanaka, with their manager, the Grand Wizard of Wrestling, defend their titles against the challenge of the Happy Hawaiian, Dean Ho, and Tony Garea. This was pretty young in the career of Tony Garea, as 2 years earlier he was named Rookie of the Year by the World Wrestling Federation. Tanaka and Fuji were in their prime as a tag team at this time. I'm going to thank Arland19871 for the footage. Next up, we'll go to the Dockets channel, and we'll go back to January 16, 1986 in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada for a rare champions match, as former AWA World Heavyweight Champion at the time, Nick Bockwinkel, takes on the then NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Nature Boy Ric Flair. That was a great classic battle between these two great champions. They met in Winnipeg, and it wasn't uncommon to see the NWA champion defend his title or wrestle even in the AWA at that time in the early 80s. Next, we go to the Tranquil 515 channel, and a match back in 1974 at the Fort Hershey Armory in Tampa, Florida. Back in 1974, the NWA World Heavyweight title was on the line as the champion, Jack Briscoe, defended his title against the Cowboy, Bill Watts. Bill Watts at the time was not a popular fan favorite as he was in the 80s. He was a very despised rule breaker at this time. And by the way, watch for the commentary of Bill Watts throughout this broadcast to see how kind of biased he is towards himself. Next up, we'll go to the T72 Fins channel. We'll go back to December 29, 1983. The NWA World Heavyweight title is at stake as the champion, Nature Boy Ric Flair, who just won the belt a month earlier that time from Harley Race at Starrcade, defended his title against David Von Erich. Many people picked David Von Erich to be the future NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Unfortunately for David, he died 2 months later in Japan. So that was an outstanding matchup. And then we end out our classic match of the day, the 5-pick, by going to the Cuban channel. I got that right finally. We'll go back to May 1987 in Miami, Florida. The Eddie Graham, my words getting mixed up. The Eddie Graham Memorial Show. It was a battle for the NWA World Tag Team titles. The champions, the Ravishing One, Rick Rude, teaming up with the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez with #1 Paul Jones in their corner to take on Hawk and Animal, the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors with Precious Paul Ellering. At that time, Rude and Fernandez were on a roll as NWA World Tag Team Champions, but were eliminated in the quarterfinals of the Crockett Cup at the hands of Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff. This was a pretty good match as well. Well, that's it for the classic match of the day here on Sunday. Hope you enjoy these 5 matches under the favorites section. And don't forget to tune in. Up next, it's the special Part 3 edition of the Weekend Report, the WWE Draft Preview. Until then, this is Paul the Nitro Skyver saying so long, everybody.